Hey everyone, welcome back to Sweet Talks. I'm Tess, your host. Today I have Steph Tolev with me. She's a comedian and was just on Bill Burr's Friends Who Kill. I cannot wait to bake a Canadian dessert with her and talk more about her journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go. Hi Steph, welcome!
Hi, thanks for having me.
I am so excited that you're here.
Me too. I know I'm acting like I'm unnatural. I'm also excited that I'm here. I don't know why I'm acting like this. I perform all the time. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me in your squeaky clean kitchen.
Yeah, that was the first thing you said, and I'll forever remember that compliment.
I've never seen tile this clean. Like, there's not even anything in between them. It's nuts. It's literally shining.
I was like, okay, let me get all of the little crevasses for you.
You got the crevasses. There's absolutely not a whisper of anything in here.
Love it. Today we're making Nanaimo bars.
Yes.
And I said that correctly.
Yes, you did.
God, that was difficult. Okay, as you know, we practiced that 9 million
Several times. Yeah.
It's a Canadian dessert.
Yes.
Did your mom make it for you?
Yeah, my mom, my grandma, my aunts, all growing up. It comes out usually around Christmas time.
Oh, okay.
That's more of a Christmassy dessert, but they also sell it everywhere.
There's a lot that goes into it. So it's a no-bake dessert, and there's 3 layers, and you have to freeze them each layer. So we're going to do just the middle portion, the filling, because we're going to be here for hours if we're just doing all of it. So how we make the middle is a very stabilized American buttercream. So for anyone, not Canadian and doesn't know this dessert, basically you make a buttercream and you add some custard powder.
Okay,
and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. So we're going to use our handy-dandy mixer here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is softened butter. I'll put it in here, but essentially what we're going to do is we're going to mix all these ingredients together in here for about 5 minutes.
Do you use this every day? Is this
Yeah. This is my buddy.
I like this. Is there a name for him?
Beatrice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a woman.
Sorry, I misgendered. I'm gonna get canceled for misgendering your blender here. Yeah. Okay. Beatrice. Okay. Yes.
So we put butter in. This has our custard powder and powdered sugar. If you just want to pour that
That's
in.
That's already all in there. Okay.
Yeah, I pre-measured it for you.
I just missed the whole thing. I'm that's something I do. Oh my god! I'm starting from fresh. We're gonna be here for another 4 hours.
Okay,
and then what is this?
This is heavy cream and a little bit of vanilla extract.
And that's all you need in there? Is that little? Oh my god, it smells so fucking good. Can I swear on this? Oh
yeah,
shoot.
Of
okay.
Course you can.
Can I fucking? Okay, we're good.
Okay, we're gonna start very slow because usually I just go for it and it goes everywhere. So we're gonna.
I've never used one of these. I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now.
Okay. Put it. Just bring it to level 2. Nice.
Okay.
So we're gonna start there because as you can see, it kind of looks like smoke almost because the powdered sugar.
Yes.
And we're just gonna go.
So what happened back in the day? Our grandmothers and our mothers were just really strong arms.
Yo, churning butter, those arms.
I know, they must be really jacked.
Yeah.
Our grandparents were jacked and we just didn't realize because they wore all those oversized clothing. We didn't know they were just full abs. All our grandmothers were full bodybuilders. We had no idea.
Okay, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, you're just gonna go do it. I'm so intrigued by it.
So yeah.
Oh really? That's it? And it just whips up?
Yeah.
That's very convenient.
If you have
this flew right in your hair, it's convenient that exact same time it flew directly into your hair. That looks like something else. But we can't say what it is because if this was on YouTube, we might get.
Okay.
You've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Don't act like that's your first time getting a bit of custard in your hair. We'll call it custard.
It is custard. I mean, it technically is custard.
It's kind of the same consistency as.
All right, so now that we did that.
So what is the bottom layer of this again?
Okay, yes.
Because I forgot. There's coconut in there, right?
Yes.
I should know. I picked this dessert and I don't even know what the hell.
Okay, so our bottom layer, how you make it is you melt together butter, cocoa powder, and sugar. You melt that all together, get it smooth, and then add an egg. Get it glossy and thick. And then you add a nut mixture. So I use pecans, but you can do almonds. You can do a nut mixture. And then, yeah, it is nice.
We say pecan in Canada.
Pecan. Sorry. So this has pecans in it.
Thank you. Otherwise, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
And also graham cracker crumbs.
Ooh, okay. We like that.
Okay, so we've made this is a very thick buttercream. So that's essentially what you need for the middle. So I'll put it on. I'm just gonna flop it on there.
Really flop it on
there.
Yeah.
And then you get to use this spatula to just spread it around.
Gold spatula to spread it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was alone right now, I'd be
just
fingering that batter. Just oh my god, it is thick.
I know.
Our grandparents really had. I can't get over how strong arms are. Oh my god, this is gonna be the thickest Yeah, you were because so with this recipe,
Yeah.
people like to change up which layers are the thickest.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes you'll get my one aunt would make a really thin layer of chocolate on the top, thick cream, thick bottom.
Yeah.
Some people like to get a 3-layer consistency, the same kind of sizing.
Sure.
But it's this is this is gonna be a thick boy, that's for sure. Do you watch The Great British Bake Off?
Absolutely. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good show. That's and it's funny.
Yeah.
I always root for the old women.
Yes.
They're my favorite.
Yeah.
The old ones that are like, oh, I don't know. And they don't know what they're measuring. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want.
I want you to win.
Yeah, well, they never win, but
right.
Okay, is that
No, this
good?
is perfect. Okay, so
I'm like, out of breath. I'm like, is that good? Is that good? Done nothing.
This is perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so essentially what we do now is we're going to put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to set up. And then, like you said, there is a chocolate layer that goes on top. So you just melt chocolate, put it on top, and then you put it in the fridge again for about 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
But because we don't have a lot of time, this is all the prep we're going to do. And I will meet you at the table with a fully done bar.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Great.
go. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm excited.
Me too. Okay, so I have put the chocolate on it. They've chilled, and we need to take a bite.
Yes. I'm very excited right now.
Oh my god.
Wow. You did good.
It's so rich.
Holy shit. That's
Did I
really
do-
fucking good.
Did I do Canada justice?
I think you did. I think you may have outdone
Shut up.
some I've had. These are really tasty.
Oh my god, yes!
My god. I love the thick cream. The top's not too much.
Oh my god, you make
I'm
me
gonna
so
get a
happy.
fucking cavity right now. I'm salivating still in between bites.
Oh my god, that makes me so happy. So, give me a little background on this dessert for people who don't know about it.
Well, I don't know too much. I don't know. I probably should have Googled this before. I think it started in, someone's going to Google this and be like, no. There is a city in British Columbia called Nanaimo.
Yes.
So I think it originated there because I know whenever I go to BC, they're everywhere.
Yeah. So okay, wait. Before we get into your story, important question. Mullet. Is it inspired by Miley Cyrus or Joe Dirt?
Neither.
No.
No, neither. I don't know how this hair came out of the pandemic.
I love it.
I'm obsessed. I'm getting a fresh mullet tomorrow, so it gets even more mullety.
I really love it.
I'm obsessed. This is my hair now. I've grown into my hair. It took me. I'm 37. I'll say my age on TV. I don't give a shit. It's tattooed on me right there. I'm 5. I don't give a fuck. It took me this long to finally figure out my hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like naturally curly. It's easy to do this. It's like nothing.
So, growing up in Canada, what was
Yes.
it like? How did you find your way to LA? Give it to me.
Go.
Give it to me.
It was amazing. I hate to break it to you. If you're American, it's scary here. It's scary here. Canada's very nice. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's a very clean, nice city. My parents have a cottage outside, 2-hour drive. So it's like we go up there for pretty much all summer long to swim and so many fresh lakes. Very squeaky clean streets. I was never scared walking alone or anything like that. I was always like, whatever. And then in high school, I used to Highland dance as well. It's a side note. So I used to
What is that?
competitively Highland dance.
Is that like the...
Scottish dancing with the kilts and the bagpipes.
Yeah.
My mom's a teacher. Very strange. So I did that my whole life. So I was like a competitive dancer. Not good. Very bad. I had a very large child body. Shouldn't have been a dancer. Usually dancers are small and petite. And there I was clumping around like an old clown up there. Then high school rolled around, I'd say about grade 7, grade 8, 8th grade, whatever.
Yeah.
Americans, we say grade 8. Then I kind of came out of my shell.
Yeah.
And I was at this weird, loud kind of pervert kind of little, we had health class, and I was like, I found everything so funny. I was like, I think I acted like a boy, it was fallopian tubes, and they would say this. My first email address was Sven_nipple, and I thought it was so funny. And I'm like, what even is this?
Did you have any brothers or just
A sister.
Okay.
There's one sister, and I don't know why I thought it was I became a little pervert. I don't know what happened. I was a little whatever, and then in high school, I wanted to be an actress. That was my main thing. I'm I'm gonna get into acting, whatever. And then in grade 11, all my teachers were like, I think you should do stand up. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, you're not good at school. I'm like, oh, okay, well,
find a different life path.
yeah, they're like, you should stand up. So I had 3 of my drama teachers were like, do stand up. My math teacher said it too at one point, and all my friends were like, you should do stand up. So it was that enough people that said it to me. I was like, I think I should.
Yeah.
And I was very funny. in high school, and I had you want some deep stuff.
Yeah.
So I was bullied really badly in high school, like really fucking badly, especially in like grade 9. I was like, outgoing, and I had the 2 hottest friends in high school. So like it was these 2 hot girls, and I didn't grow to my body, and I was like weird, just a big nose, just like awkward, like small head. It was like whatever, no boobs, whatever. And I was really outgoing, so I'd like I'd be witty and like making jokes and stuff. And it turns out this group of Greek guys, you know who you are if you're watching, they hated me. They fucking hated me, and they stole my yearbook at the end of the year, and they took it to the boys' bathroom, and they wrote ugly on every page. They had a nickname for me. It was like ugly in Greek, I think, so they wrote it all over every page. I had this crush on this one guy, and they knew I did, so they scratched out his face, and they wrote all around it, he'll never like you, you're disgusting. Like, it was fucked. It was like,
holy shit.
It was so bad. I remember it was grade 9, we're outside the yearbook signing thing, and he goes, take off your Halloween mask, you ugly bitch. And then I slapped him across the face.
Yeah.
And then he slapped me back.
No way.
And only one of my friends did something, and I was like, oh my God, cried the whole way home. Oh, nightmare. So the first year of high school was fucked, and I was just like, obviously, I'm very self-deprecating, and people are like, oh, like, do you actually think you're ugly and fat? Because I make jokes like that, but it's like, when people say that too so often, like, half my DMs are men saying I'm fat and ugly, and I'm like, okay, well, funny, you don't have a profile picture.
Yeah, right.
All the guys that say I'm fat and ugly would love to see your pictures, because I can never find them.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's wild. I can't imagine social media when I was in high school. If I was already getting called like Toucan Sam and like all this bullshit. I'm like, if they had like memes that they could do with me, I'd be fucking suicidal. Like that'd be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, by like grade 10, I was like, they calmed down a little bit on the bullying. And then I got even funnier. I was like, fuck these guys. I'm going to fucking bury you. You want to make fun of me? I'm going to come back with a funnier comment, and you're going to shut the fuck up. And it worked. So by like the end of high school, the bullying had stopped. And then I held on to that. And I'm not going to lie to you. Anytime like someone's been like, you're not funny or whatever, it's like it really sits with me. And it's like, my comedy drive is from my pettiness.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I love that because I'm really petty. So when you, like, your stories, I'm like, I laugh out loud because I'm like, I would do this too.
Yeah.
Like, and then society, pettiness, right? It's just like, like you're being a petty woman, and you're like, I'm like,
I don't care. It's anger that spills up, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. My pettiness has driven me to where the hell I am now, which is. Yeah, because there's been like, I first started comedy, 2 of the main clubs in Toronto said they wouldn't book me, and then I wasn't funny, all this crap, and I was like, okay, well, I'll do it all myself. So everything I've been doing, like, independent shit, and like, it's harder for me to get booked in Canada now than it is here. I think Canada's like a bit more sensitive with like the dirty stuff, and they're a bit more like, that's not how we are up here. It's like, no, you are. You're filthy pigs, all of you. But yeah, I just worked my fucking ass off. I started doing stand-up and sketch and improv when I was 18. More sketch and improv for like 4 years, and then I got really into stand-up, and then when I was 30 I decided to make the move out here.
Okay, so it's like a recent move being here.
7 years. Yeah.
I would say I guess that's pretty recent.
Yeah.
And how has it been in LA?
It's slow climb.
Yeah,
because you have to restart. I was doing like as much as I could in Canada. I like kind of hit like a ceiling up there. I did like all the main festivals, and you only do so many shows, and like I love Toronto, and Toronto was such a great starter city for comedy. Like there's so many fucking good shows. There's a place called the Comedy Bar. It's unbelievable. They have like 2 rooms. The guy there is so supportive. It's unreal. So that was like a huge step for me. I was on hold for a show out here when I was like 27. So I was on hold. I'm like, I'm gonna move to LA, and then come out here, and the show doesn't get made, obviously. Sure. And then everyone who worked on that show no longer works with this massive company, NBC. And then I was like, I'm the next famous Kristen Wiig. And then they were like, oh no, all of them are fired. Cool, good, okay, well, I guess we're starting from scratch. So yeah, it's just, I moved out here after I was like, 14, 15 years in the comedy. Then I was like, okay, let's start again. And like, open mic after open mic. Like when I first moved out here, I was staying on my friend's couch. There's 3 of us in a 1-bedroom apartment, and they would like go party, and I would just be like on their couch like crying. Like I was so depressed when I first moved here, and like I couldn't. No one gave a fuck. Yeah, like coming from Canada, like I've been here for so long, and I'm a headliner. Everyone's like, "Who the fuck are you?" No one gives a shit. So it was like, and it's just I was out every night, like I do. When people are like, "Want to get into comedy?" I'm like, "Do you?" Yeah, it's your whole life. Like every fucking night. Like right now, like my calendar this week, I'm like, I have shows every single night.
Yeah. Does it get tiring?
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, but like
absolutely exhausted. I've decided Sundays are my day off now because I can't.
Yeah. What?
I'm tired.
Is it? You're not old.
My bones hurt.
I mean, my bones hurt.
My bones are killing me. I'm like, I gotta sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should just bring a chair up there and sit the whole time.
I mean, when people do that, it drives me insane.
Does it?
When stand-up comics sit, I'm like, you have to stand for 10 minutes a day. That's it. You get 10 minutes a day to stand and you can't stand. Stand the fuck up.
Yeah.
You lazy shit. Yeah. It's really insane.
So, what has the journey been like? Like, obviously, you've gone through everything. You know, you've been through the highs, the lows, the mediums, you know. So, in Toronto, you made it to the top. You came to LA, started from the bottom. You are recently on a Netflix special, Bill Burr, Friends Who Kill.
Yes.
How did you get there? What was that journey?
So that was crazy. So I did a show with him called Bill Burr Presents The Ringers right before the pandemic. It was like, I think it was like, I don't think he was curating it kind of, but I think it was more like friends like, oh, this person should do this. Like it wasn't like he handpicked them.
Sure.
So I was like, maybe something will come from this, and then pandemic hit, so nothing. So I got heavily into TikTok and Instagram videos. So I was just like, this is my thing now. I moved home with my parents for like 6 months, and I was like, gotta ignore them, so I need to put on some wigs and mustaches that I always travel with.
It's in my bag.
It's really, I think I have a mustache on me right now. I always have a mustache on me in case.
Just if you
never
need it.
know. But I started doing that a lot, and I was like, I go through phases where I would see other friends of mine, their videos would take off, and I think I'm funnier than they are. Their videos would take off, and they'd be getting all this attention and getting all these followers. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I'm like, I'm pumping out content. People are sharing my content. I don't know what the fuck. I'm like, I think it's funny. And then, so TikTok started doing well. So I started seeing a big bump in followers on TikTok. I did this one character called Marcy.
Super funny.
Marcy, my dad filmed that video.
Stop.
And he was like, is this funny? I don't get it. And I was like,
it is so funny, Dad.
well, that's my first video that went viral.
Yeah.
So I woke up the next morning, I had 1 million views. I was like, is this a fucking joke right now? Because I had nothing even close to that. And then I kept doing them, and I kept being like, this isn't going anywhere. So I did a video when I was in New York in March where it was just like a whatever video where I was like pumping a show. It's like an advertising for a show. I was like, hey, I'm walking here. And then I was like, oh, New Yorkers are so annoying. So I just overdid it where I was like, hey, my dog's shitting over here. Like, and everything was like an over here. And I wake up the next morning after posting it, and I've gone up like hundreds of followers. I'm like, on Instagram. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I look at it, and like Bill Burr commented on it. I'm like,
excuse
I'm
me.
sorry, what's going on right now? And then I go to his stories, and he shared it in his stories. And I was like, okay.
Did you tag him, or did he just
just found this video, saw it, and I was like, okay. So I like DM'd him. I'm like, hey, thanks for sharing, Bill Burr. Like, I'm like, I don't know what to say. So he started following me on Instagram. I'm like, okay.
My life.
I'm like, okay, so I'm like, I'm not gonna be crazy, because you know, you always hear it's like you can work for years and nothing really happens, but you need that one person that kind of believes in you to get you to that next fucking step. And then he DM'd me back, and he's like, it was so funny, he had me crying over here. And I'm like, what's going on right now? So I'm like, play it cool. So we kind of like started chatting, and he like mentioned me maybe opening for him, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, play it cool, don't go crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like literally about to hike my dog. This is like a month ago. Maybe a month and a half ago. I'm about to hike my dog, and I'm like about to get in my car, and my manager calls me, and she's like, you sitting down? I'm like, what? She's like, sit down. And I'm like in the car, and I'm like, what? She's like, Bill Burr just specifically asked for you to be on this Netflix special. I'm like, what do you mean Netflix special? I'm like, and I had like a week to get my set together, and I was like, you know, as a comedian, I'm a very dirty comedian. If you don't like dirty comedy, please don't watch me. But I'm very dirty, and I'm like, not very dirty, but I talk about a lot of women's shit, a lot of sex stuff, whatever. I'm an empowered sexual woman. I'm gonna talk about it, but I was like, if you want to do late night shows like Jimmy Fallon or like Conan and stuff like that, they need a 5-minute clean set. So they don't want swearing, they don't want sex. So it's like, for years I've been trying to do that, because that gives you a big bump in followers, whatever. And I'm like, my managers and agents were like, it's not really you. And I was like, I don't want to do a 5 minutes of clean, and then someone comes to watch me do an hour, and they're like, she's talked about her labia for 45 minutes. Like, what? Like, that's not what we came to fucking see. Right. I don't want the people coming. I don't want, like, if you go to church every Sunday, you're probably not going to like my comedy.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And that's okay. I don't want you to watch it. Trust me, it's not for you. But I'm like, okay. So this set, I was like, fuck it. I'm doing a fucking Netflix set for the first time ever. It's going to be seen by lots of fucking people. I'm going to do millions of people. I'm going to do what I fucking do best.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be my crazy ass self. I'm going to do my dirty shit. I'm very happy. So I'm glad, and it's working now, because the set that I did, now people are seeing it, and like people are...
They know you for your own comedy. It wasn't someone's curated comedy.
Yeah.
Which is good. Because could you imagine if you did a clean set and you're like, wait, now I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to like do...
This, yes.
And people are like, who is this?
Who the hell is this person? Yeah. And the Comedy Store too was a big thing. So I got passed in December, so I'm like a paid regular there now, and that's a very big deal. think I'm the first female comic in like 30 or 40 years to get past there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a really big deal.
That is a huge deal.
Yeah, so July 23rd, and when this comes out, it's called the name day, where I get my name officially on the wall. I know, I'm like renting a dress. I'm very excited for it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So what has it been like after the special came out?
It's been great. It's been 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah. It's been 2 weeks now, and it's been like a lot of meetings and a lot of people that I've been trying to get a hold of, like want to get a hold of me now, and it's been good. I got a lot of road work coming up now, so you can see me. Several cities are booking me, so it's great.
Yeah.
I'm also opening for Bill Burr in Toronto at a 20,000 seat arena.
Stop.
Yeah, it's called the Scotiabank Arena. It's where like the Toronto Maple Leafs play and the Toronto Raptors play.
Oh my god!
It's the biggest thing in my life. I'm like 20,000 people. I'm like, yeah. I'm like,
That's
I've
huge.
never. Oh yeah, my biggest before that is like 1,200. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm speechless. I have nothing. I'm just like gaping at you. I don't know what to say.
I literally know. It's crazy. I told my family I'm bringing my sister backstage, and it's gonna be insane.
Yeah. When is this?
August 23rd, 24th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I know. So it's like and it's also. I've been working at this for so long, and sometimes when people get like a break, they don't have anything to back it up. But it's like I have 4 comedy albums. I have a special out. I have a million fucking videos to watch. If I have content coming up my asshole, and it's like I'm ready. I'm funny.
Yeah, it's not like something like you said. You're not unprepared.
Yeah, I'm
prepared.
ready for this. I've been ready for a while, and now I'm like, yes, I'm ready to fucking tour and do. I mean, I've already been touring, but like I'm ready to like,
Yeah, it's like what we actually were just talking about this, where it's like an overnight success, where there's many people who didn't know your name before this special, and they could be like, oh my god, she got her big break. Who is she? We don't know her. This is like fluke chance, and you're like, no, this has been 18 years in the making. Yeah,
I've had a couple people be like, wow, when did you start? Like, one guy said something like, seems like an amateur. I'm like, suck my ass. I don't seem like an amateur at all. I'm fucking confident as goddamn hell in that thing. It's like, I get it. My comments on everybody. Like, if you don't like the comedy, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't, like, a couple people were like, it's so funny watching trolls argue on Twitter, because, like, one guy was like, I don't know what everyone's talking about. She bombed. And then one guy was like, look, man, I didn't find her funny, but she definitely did not bomb. Like, you know what? Like, trust me, I know what a bomb is. I had a bomb last week. Ooh.
Oh, what is that experience like to bomb?
Bad. It's so bad. I'm not over it.
Do you sweat in the middle? Are you like, I want to give up, I want to leave, and just drop the mic, leave?
Yes,
like...
that's what I wanted to do. And especially, like, I haven't bombed like this in a long time, because I do it so much, and usually, like, I'm at a point now where I shouldn't be bombing, but it's just sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I was at the Improv on Friday night, and I had this set that was like so bad that like the bartender was even like, I've never seen you do that bad. And I'm like, I know. No, it wasn't even, he was like laughing saying it because he was like surprised. And I was like, and my friends who booked me were like, you'll get him next time. And I was so embarrassed. I got my car and I cried.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's like such a pathetic feeling.
But what makes someone bomb? Like, is it just that they didn't, like, it wasn't the right audience for what you were doing? Or?
And I tried everything. Like, I came out, did some crowd work, they hated it. Tried some jokes, they hated it. Did like an old joke that always kills, didn't get a laugh. And I was like, and then I get panicked, and I was like, I'm on Netflix. And I'm like, that's not likable. So everyone's like, oh, and I'm like, then I'm like so mad. Oh yeah, no, it was a nightmare. It was so bad. I got in the car, I was like, yeah, can I just say those days? Everyone's like, we hate you. Yeah. We don't give a fuck if you're on Netflix. You're trash right now. Yeah, I bombed so bad, and then luckily a comic that was on after me, I saw him later that night. He was like, "Oh, I bombed too." I'm like, "Okay, so maybe it was the crowd."
Huh? Yeah, I mean, it has to be.
I mean, I hate blaming the crowd. It's like, well, I should have known. Like, I should have figured out a way to get them back. And usually, I can get them back. Like, that's especially if it's like a longer set, and if I say a joke that really people don't like, I think it's like a really good talent to be able to get people back. If you have them at such a low and get them back and start killing again, that's like
That's a big win.
It's a big win, yeah.
So this is just from someone who obviously, I'm not a comedian, I don't write stand-up. So in those moments, right, like you have a set, right? Is that kind of how it goes when you go on for your set? You have a sequence of jokes you want to tell? Or do you have like an arsenal of jokes that you're like, I could just tell any of them right now?
Kind of that. So it's a mix. If I'm doing like a headlining set, I know what jokes I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like I have, that's 45 minutes to an hour. I'm not going to go up there and fucking wing it. That's absurd.
Yeah, that would be ballsy.
That's not, I'm sure people do, but I'm like, I do not do that. But if it's like the sets at the Comedy Store, it's like a 10-minute set, I'll have an idea. If I have a couple new jokes I'm working on, I'll pepper them in.
Yeah.
And then I'll try some, I've been like getting really into crowd work recently because it's like, you're at a live show.
Funny.
And you're at a live show, and if you're funny at it, it's like it's good. But if I go up and I can tell the crowd doesn't want it, or I start bombing doing crowd work, I'm like, fuck this, let's get into the joke right away. But it's also more fun for me to do crowd stuff, and like, especially I go up usually pretty late at the Comedy Store, so it's like, I don't know, 10:30, 11 on like a Thursday, and people have been there since like 8, and they're like, we've seen every joke now, so I'm like, okay, let's try to spruce them up, get people kind of involved.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get the people think we want hecklers. Nobody wants you to yell out. No one's ever been like, why is no one yelling out? We don't want you to yell out.
You don't want this to happen.
No, and I love when it's like guys who think they're going to be funny. It's like, you're not going to be.
Yeah.
This is our job. You're not, whatever you think you're going to say is never going to be funnier than what we will say, because we will come down on you.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll come down.
Because that's like honestly, that's the goal. Is to have there is a subject right in front of you that you can tear apart. I mean, as a comedian, you just have. You gotta
be, and it's like you have to, because it's also practice. Like I could not even tell you how many times I've done comedy now. Like I've been doing it. I think my first set ever. I think I just turned 18.
Okay, yeah. So
I got to a bar in Toronto. Yeah, I just turned 18, and I was like, okay, and I tried it, bombed my dick off. First set ever, guy said, I hate you, you suck. And I was like, and then I was like, I'll kick your ass in the parking lot. And then I went outside, and there he was waiting for me. And I was like, oh, is this what stand-up comedy is? I was 18 years old. I'm like, I'm going to go home. And he was like so drunk too. And I just got in my car and left. And I was like, see ya.
Yeah.
My car, my parents' car. But I was like, I'm going to go home with my family now. I'm not going to get beat up by an old drunk man.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have to have, from the very start, thick skin to be a stand-up comic? And sure of yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't be self-conscious. You can be, some people, I think you can be self-conscious, which, I mean, I most certainly am about my body, whatever. I'm like definitely still self-conscious, but I know that I'm funny. Yeah. And that's like... You have to be confident
You have to be confident in your comedy, and that you can riff on the spot, and you're like,
Can it be learned, or do you have to have a talent, like a starting off a little bit?
I think you have to be a funny person.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at like all my friends, and all my friends are comedians, the ones that I think are doing the best are funny people. Yeah. Like sometimes people go off stage and they're kind of like whatever, but I don't know. I find it odd when like someone starts doing stand up, and I've never once laughed at anything they've ever said or done in their life, and I'm like, sometimes I ask, like, why are you doing this? Like, because I know a lot of people in Los Angeles. Like, my prime example of this is I was on a hike one day, and I heard this fucking girl. And she was like, oh my God, my manager. And her friend was like, oh, what'd she say? She's like, oh, I have to start doing stand-up comedy now, so I guess I'm a stand-up comic. And I'm like, no, you're not a stand-up comic. I'm going to shove you off the side of the hike. See you later. See you at the bottom of Runyon on a fucking stretcher. Get the hell out of my face. I'm like, are you crazy right now? You're not funny. Yeah. Like, I had so many people tell me I was funny and I should do this. Yeah. And they were right. I mean, of course, there are like other people that can just get up there and do jokes, whatever, but like, if you're not funny at all, it's odd that you would choose.
I would agree with that.
Stand-up comedy. It's like, I can't bake. Every time I've ever baked anything, no, I fuck it up. Yeah. I tried making those like peanut butter Hershey cookies. Yeah. Shit. Dry. I was eating them like just crumbled. I was like so pissed off, so I ate the whole thing. Tasted like actual, I'm like, what is this, baking soda? And I'm trying to use the fucking measuring. I'm like, that's it. I'm not going to get into baking. You're good at it. You're going to do it. That's it. I'm not going to do this. This is your thing.
I'm not going to do stand-up comedy.
It's like, do also, it's like, I get it if it's a passion you want to do, but it's like, it just seems like an odd thing to want to do if you're not.
Yeah, if you're not inherently funny. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. So, with your experience, you're a woman in comedy.
I am a woman.
You are a woman.
Despite what I sound like and what men say I look like, I am most certainly. I'm a woman. Yes.
What is it like being a woman in comedy?
It's way better now, but when I first started, oh boy, it was rough. I was always the only girl in shows, always. And then you go, and then even getting brought up, like comics like, coming up next, a woman. Oh my God. And like even the crowd would be like, oh, a woman's going on. Like, I don't know why it was ever, I don't know where this started. Yeah. Because Joan Rivers is the funniest person in the entire world. Yeah. So I don't know how the fuck she had that whole generation, and like I don't know where people said women aren't funny. Yeah. It is the most common thing people say. Like anytime I post a clip, there's always somebody who chimes in, women aren't funny. Yeah. Guess what? If you want to be a troll, maybe try a new line.
Be creative.
Be creative. That's not funny anymore. Yeah. It's also like, okay, your opinion. Yeah. What if I said all men aren't funny? Like it's such a fucking stupid thing to say. Or everyone always comments on my videos, oh, women only talk about their vaginas, blah, blah. Name one male comedian besides Brian Regan and Jerry Seinfeld, who don't talk about their dick and balls all the time.
Yes.
Everyone fucking does. Sorry, it's what I have. I'm
Yeah.
being out of it. I'm looking at it. I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, we all have genitals. We all fucking do things with them. Like,
Yeah.
what are we acting like? Anyways, it's also like, listen to my album. It's not all about that. You're just seeing one clip and saying this. But the worst thing about people saying women aren't funny is other women.
Yes.
And it's fucked. I was in Dubai doing these shows. Very horrible. They do not find me funny out there.
I don't think I don't know if that's a good place to do.
I'll never go back again. They hated me so badly. And this one show, this was the second night there, and I already wasn't having fun doing these shows.
Yeah.
Girl, this guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey, my friend hated you." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "Yeah, right there. She hated you." And I went, "Pardon me?" And it was this tall woman, and she comes up to me. She's like, "Yeah, man, I guess your last joke was okay." And I went, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Fuck you." I'm like, if I wasn't in Dubai right now, I'd kick your ass.
Yeah.
If I was in Canada right now, I'd kick your fucking ass.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "I'm dead serious." I go, "How dare you?" I go, "Well, you don't find women funny?" She goes, "Nope." I go, "You have no female friends you find funny." And she goes, "That's my best friend right there." And I go, "Do you find her funny?" She goes, "Nope." And her friend was like, "Oh," like her friend literally got like
so
got her.
sad.
It was so mean. And I was
Yeah.
like, "You're the problem."
Yeah.
And like so many people, like anyone who DMs me, like, "You're the first female comic I found funny." You're not watching enough comedy then.
Yeah.
You're not seeing comedy. You're not going out to live shows. You're seeing, what, 2 female comics, the names you've heard, Amy Schumer, and you're like, "Oh, but funny, women are funny." No, Google.
Yeah.
Google more. Go to live shows. There's the Comedy Store every fucking night. You're going to see funny female comedians. Like, it's insane that you're saying this.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating, and it's like, get a new angle here.
Yeah. So I know that you have a very versatile joke. Like, your jokes are versatile. So you have sex jokes, you have anatomy jokes, you have non-sex jokes. You have, like, it's all over the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But do you feel like being a woman, to be taken seriously in comedy, you have to go for the sex jokes? Because truly, most men have sex jokes.
Yeah.
It's like the just standard.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. No one's ever asked me. That's a good question, though. No, I honestly think like a pervert. Mm-hmm. I literally.
I mean, it's you.
It's me. I'm literally, like, when I'm in person with my friends, I'm still like making tit jokes and whatever. I don't know what words I can say. I'm like, yeah, I'm still like being gross.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think, and I also like, I think it's just a thing where like you see a lot of comedy, and I watch a lot of dirty comedy, so I think they're just more in my head, and it's what I find funnier. Like, I don't really find clean comedians very funny.
Yeah.
Like, if I sit down and watch a guy like not swear or just do like Grand Raisin and Brian Regan, which he is funny, but I'm like,
It's just like, it's what you like.
it's what I like, and that's it. Like, that's and also like at nightclubs, like usually I will say the sex stuff does better.
Yeah.
When you're doing a weekend, like if I'm doing a late show at like 11:30, I go on stage. Yeah. That crowd's rowdy. They're drunk. They are with dates. They want to hear this shit. They don't want me to go up and talk about fucking cereal for fucking 45 minutes. Like, maybe they do. I don't want to try it. I don't know. Yeah.
What have you seen the industry kind of like push you towards, though? Like, being a woman, to find success, have you felt pressure to do certain things in your comedy?
Not really. The only pressure I feel, especially in Los Angeles, is my looks. I feel like I have a very niche look, and I feel like I don't book specific things because of how I look. And I know I'm funny, and then I will see who booked it, and it's a girl who's half my size with no wrinkles and no double chin, and I'm like, well, that's why I didn't book that, because I'm a little bit bigger. And I'm like, I know now it's getting so much better, and there's like way more women who are like Lizzo, for example, who's like a fucking, proud of her fucking body and stuff like this. Like, that's helping so much, but it's still like, when it comes to casting, it's like, I'll get a breakdown. It's like younger mom in her early 30s, and I'll go into the waiting room on Zoom and see all the other women. I'm like, I'm not booking this. And guess what? I'm not.
Yeah.
It's all these thin, really pretty women, and I come in, I'm like, hello, fucking mullet, how are we? I know I'm a niche thing, but I'm like, that's the one thing I just feel like this, they really want flawless.
Yeah, I feel like that's with anything in the public eye, which is so upsetting, because I feel like you do have an iconic look. It's a distinct look. Mm-hmm. Like, this is Steph.
Yeah, it's a very Bulgarian rock and roll look that I'm going for now. Yeah,
but I like it. I mean, like,
this isn't going to help. Screw you. This is not going to. I have to go for a hike after this. Goddammit. No. I'm never getting booked again. I'm going to blame you. I'll be like, why am I getting booked again? Yeah. I'm not getting booked. No, I think that, that's the one thing about, I don't think my comedy was, I was told a lot when I was back in Toronto that nobody wants to hear women be dirty or talk like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to talk how I want.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Which I think that's really awesome. I think it's a really big inspiration for young girls. Like, I don't know what your demographic is. I feel like it's women.
It's
Mostly women.
It's definitely women, yeah.
Because men... because, like, wait, women aren't funny. So
yeah, women are funny, and I think my demographic is probably like 20 to like 40.
Okay, right. So
women, yeah.
I think like mostly I guess younger. So if we were to like, when you reach that younger crowd, to have your resilience, number one, is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And the confidence one in your looks, like to have an iconic look that like the world is telling you, hey, you need to look completely different than what you do now to book certain things, and you're like, no, I kind of really like who I am.
Yeah,
I think that's huge, especially in comedy.
Yes, it takes a while to get there though.
Yeah,
like I didn't get my voice in comedy until I was like 25, 26, and I started when I was 18.
Yeah,
so it's like it takes a while to figure out who you are on stage and what point of view you have and what you want to talk about. And I realized, so the reason I got even more like dirtier and like talking about stuff recently, like years ago, I did a joke about having a big labia. And then I got, this was my first DMs, and this girl's like, hey, I just want to thank you. She's like, I also have very big labia, and I've never heard someone talk about it in the light you talked about it. And she goes, and it made me feel a lot better about myself, and I was thinking of getting surgery, and now I don't think I want it anymore. And I was like, no, don't get surgery. So like now I have like a bit where I go on about my labia and all labia bits, where I say like what young people are seeing in porn, and now porn's getting better because it's like everything's getting more natural, which is better, but it's like, a lot of those porn stars had to get surgeries. Like, that's not what it looks like down there.
Yeah.
Everyone's is different. Everything's different. It's all fucking a mess down there. Like, it's like the inside of an Nanaimo bar could look like that. I don't know. But everything, like, I hate this idea where it's like, you know, making you feel... Yeah, and it's making you feel like you feel like shit about your body, whatever. It's not like that.
Yeah. I feel like you're going to be one of the voices of comedy to change those things. Specifically in comedy, and then hopefully, like... through other industries as well, but like specifically stand-up comedy, I feel like
I'm trying. There's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of funny women who are talking about real shit, and it's good to see.
Yeah. I think women are hysterical.
I also do. And if you don't, then you're not watching the right shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not watching SNL. You're not seeing the funniest people in there right now. It's all the gals. Hate to break it to you. Hate to break it to you.
Exactly. Where do you find your creativity? Like, where your jokes? Are they all real experiences? Do you make them up sometimes?
I will say 98% of my jokes are real. Because I have a fear of people saying I'm copying somebody else.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, how can I copy them when that's my story? Because I had the story years ago in Toronto where a joke about how I dropped a slice of pizza on the ground and I peeled it off and ate the whole thing. It's funnier when you watch the whole joke. It doesn't make sense. Whatever. I make it seem like somebody else ate the pizza and I ate the pizza. And immediately the first I posted, someone's like, you fucking stole this from blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that happened to me a year ago.
Yeah.
At Bathurst and Queen, right outside the Pizza downtown Toronto. Like, I was like, I can give the exact coordinates. I had two friends with me who watched me do it, and they were disgusted. I'm like, no, I did that. So that was the first guy who ever the fuck said that to me. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be that person who gets accused of stealing anyone's shit. So everything is going to come from a real experience now.
Yeah.
So it's luckily I have a horrific dating life. Lucky me that I have so much shit happen to me that my friends don't even believe me half the time.
Yeah. I feel like to be a stand-up comic, to have like these stories and these funny bits that happen, you have to be an extrovert. Are you an extrovert?
No, I don't think you have to be. I am an extrovert, but I don't think you have to be. I know a lot of introverts are very funny, and like a lot of people like write jokes and they kill and they're hilarious. The way I write is more based off of reality, and I like.
Sometimes I like, because my mom is like, oh, you're such a good storyteller. Like, she has told me, she's like, you should do stand-up. And I was like, I'm too weak for that, like, mentally to do that. So it's not going to happen. But, like, I tell stories really well. But then I'm like, so then I try and sit down and I'm like, okay, well, what type of story? And I was like, I sit and I work and then I bake and then I work out and I go to sleep. Like, that's it. I don't have, like... These stories are like, I'm just angrily telling you about the incompetencies of work. Like, that's it. You know? And so I feel like you have to have these, like, funny, crazy things happen to you.
You don't have to. I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
Because people, there's, like, writers out there who can write things that you'd think were real. it just works for me that way.
Totally.
And it's very convenient that I have had an insane life. Like, I did a one-woman show a couple years ago called I've Always Been Fucked. And it literally, like, I pinpoint down to, like, the first psycho story. Like, I'm not going to get the whole thing, but a woman fell through a ceiling and landed on my body, and I saved her life. I was, like, a 9-year-old because I had to take a shit. So I sat down in the middle of this fucking store because I was, like, going to shit myself, and I couldn't shit in public. And the woman was, like, this 10-foot ceiling. She, like, misstepped in this, like, bad part, and she fell, and I saved her with my
Stop.
large body. No, this is a real thing. So like from that moment on, I was like, I just had fucked up shit happen to me all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like that was like a weird story, and people were like, what are you talking about? So I've always just had like, and so Highland dance, and I used to play Aussie rules football, and I'm like, I've just done a lot of weird shit in my life. So I think I just have like a different point of view, and I don't really have a filter, and I don't really give a shit anymore. I don't give a fucking shit what people think or what, like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
I want to be a voice for empowering women.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I support that wholeheartedly.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years? Well, I mean, I've been doing like a, what's it called, board? Manifesting board?
Oh, yeah.
It kind of works.
Really?
I didn't know. I mean, I wrote like a list. I said things to do in 2022.
Okay.
And I've already crossed off half of them.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck. Because some of them were pretty big things. And I'm like, that's a big fucking thing to cross off. Yeah, I had that with my career and I have that with men.
Okay.
The man one, not yet. We're still working on that.
Yeah.
That's still...
What are some of... Do you share what...
Yeah. Like, I just had, like, I wanted to sell my podcast to a network. I wanted to sell my cartoon. I wanted to finish a script I was working on. Like, there's, like, things... Like, I keep them realistic goals. So that's why I'm like, in 5 years from now, where I'd like to see myself is writing a cartoon of mine or being, like, on, like, a sitcom. Like, my goal in life is to be, like, do you know David Cross?
Yeah.
He's like a started sketch comedian. He does stand up, and he's a character actor. Yeah. That's like exactly what I want to do. I'm using him as an example, horrible, but I'm because he started in a sketch duo. I was in a sketch duo. He does stand up on his own. I was stand up on my own. So I just wanted to I love like Arrested Development, like his character Tobias. I'm like, that's what I want to be. I want to be cast as a fucking weirdo on some sitcom like that, and that's it. Like live my life with my golden retriever. Move to the beach at some point.
Yeah.
Because I live in East Hollywood right now, and it's not the nicest.
Yeah, not the best.
No, this is nice. There's green grass everywhere. There's just no shit everywhere. Like, there's just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Outside my house is just piles of shit. I'm like, is he human? Probably. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I used to live down, like, near the Grove area.
Mm-hmm.
Human feces
everywhere.
Yeah, it was, clearly not dog. You knew.
Oh, I know it's not dog, because there's toilet paper beside it. So
I'm
assuming dogs start wiping their own asses out there.
It's a new
maybe
breed.
they are. I mean,
we don't know. But Steph, it's been awesome having you on.
I feel like I talk too much. I'm parched from talking for so much. Yeah.
Well, cheers, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.